111-666.
Michael Jackson.
That's not Michael Jackson. He's talking about Manchester United.
111-666.
Manchester United, right?
That's Lumba.
Yeah, that's that you.
That's 6.
But tell me, how can you train all week, then go to your neighbor's
and put up
backyard
that
and take
horrendous
6?
showing?
Who hasn't taken 6? Raise your hand up. Who hasn't? We are in good company. I am telling you.
But you're making your way.
You see, we are not just in good company. We have senior brothers. I am telling you. Look, listen. Chelsea, Madrid. Then our senior brothers.
Barca.
Barca took it. You understand? Liverpool. Aston Villa. 7. No, 6.
Come
7. 8. I am in good company.
Come Saturday. The game is on Sunday. Come Sunday, you're taking on Aston Villa. Everton.
Another 6.
And Everton seem to have picked up their pieces in the last 3 games. They are playing some beautiful football. They've been able to amass good points. Going all the way to.
They are playing beautiful football, but I am happy this is not City. I think that United have quality to go out there if they want to implement their principles, if they want to implement their training records, they can go out there and beat any other team. In fact, I, being a United fan, very confident about going to the Goodison Park. I think that Everton themselves, they've been a bit dysfunctional. They are one of the teams that's rocked with a lot of politics, time without number.
Currently they have the best defensive record in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Fine.
They've not lost in the last 7 games.
Cody and Tarkowski are seemingly finding their feet as a pair.
This is not to sound a broken record, but United laughs record like this, unbeaten. They have the best defense. Okay, that's fine. That's beautiful. That's what Manchester United is. Manchester United. I expect them. Now with the comeback of Anthony Martial, with the comeback of Marcus Rashford, I think that it gives another dimension to the whole Manchester United team. Yes, Everton have solid defenses, but I expect a reaction from Manchester United. Listen, Sunday was a horror show, especially in the first half. And so if these boys are really bent on writing a new chapter for themselves at Manchester United, I expect them to go to Goodison Park and then deliver a reaction. And I think that if United play to the best of their ability, Everton can be easily dealt with.
Let me put out these interesting numbers. Everton are ranked 15 in terms of goals scored per match. They're averaging a goal per match. Jordan Pickford is actually ranked first in terms of saves in all competitions. And in the Premier League, United are ranked 9th in terms of goals scored. They are averaging 1.5 goals. And they are ranked 17th in terms of goal conceded. It means they are not scoring so much and they are conceding a lot of goals. You're coming up against a team that literally is also having a very solid defensive, back line. And we know how United are struggling for goals. You spoke about Martial coming in and all of that. But for me, I think if you look at United and what I've seen them throughout this season, the shape of the team sometimes stifles them. How Ten Hag sets them up. Mostly he sets them up to be counter-attacking unless he plays teams that he feels I can go at them. Exactly. Against Leicester, he allowed them to do their own thing. He released Eriksen, played Eriksen as a number 10, played Bruno as also a number 10. The first time I had seen Ten Hag play 2 number 10s, which is gradually seemingly becoming a thing for modern day managers. But they are coming up against an Everton side who are very solid in defense and very, very solid in the middle with that French guy. What's his name? Onana. His addition to that setup has been very, 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 very good for this team. But the Casemiro bit, let's look at that Casemiro debate. Why doesn't he go for Casemiro and play Casemiro, McTominay as double pivot instead of playing Eriksen? Because Eriksen, we know, is very creative. Why don't you unleash his skill set instead of, in a way, stifling him by playing him together with McTominay? I don't know what you think.
I think that's one of the puzzles Eric would have to solve quickly. Because to be fair to Scott, last season, he was the biggest criticism for United's midfield, together with Fred. A number of the fans felt like United midfield needed a lot of change. Change came in Casemiro, but he's not been able to get through to that starting 11. That's because Scott has upped his game.
Yeah, that's true.
And Scott is playing some excellent football this season. It's very difficult for you to drop him, because if the manager is rewarding consistency, if the manager is rewarding the players who are giving off their best, then Scott deserves to be the first name in that particular role. But then again, there's that bit of Casemiro being the world-class player who should walk into any team at every point in time. How does Eric find the perfect balance? And I think he struggled to solve that, and the longer it lingers, it will create problems. Because if he had gone with Casemiro and McTominay pair at Old Trafford, I think that would have been a better
at Etihad.
At Etihad.
Especially when City did not have a proper DM in Rodri.
Because you definitely know City would always love to have possession, but you need a player. You look at the goal Phil Foden scored, first of all. He ghosted through the United defense. That is where you need Casemiro, because he will track the runs of the forward players. He pick them out. He knows how to read play. Yeah. And that's a bit that lacks in Scott McTominay.
And now Eriksen.
And Eriksen, I wouldn't fault Eriksen, because
he doesn't have those defensive attributes.
That's not his role.
Exactly.
He's in there to drive the team forward. He's got to get a pair that would keep him at the other end and do their bit. They go to Everton. Everton have got Onana, who carry the ball forward. They've got Anthony Gordon, who would run
Idrissa Gana Gueye.
There's that base for which Everton will build on. But United would need to find out which pair that best fits the team.
For me, if they're able to sort out the midfield, I think United will have a very strong base, because in attack, I've always said United do not have issues with players.
No, they
in
don't.
Attack, you can boast of Martial on any given day. Yes, he's not best into the talent we all expected him to burst into, but he's good. You have Rashford. On any given day, he can get you some goals. You have the new boy, Anthony. Sancho, we all know he best hot and cold. He can decide to play, he can decide not to play. So they do have guys who can worry any defense. So the problem with United from last season, 2 seasons ago, have always been the midfield.
No, but the issue is that I don't think you can play a pair of Tomine and Casemiro. No.
Really?
It can be always, but I think in the big games you need to surrender.
Yes, I mean, because as I sit here, I don't think that Ten Hag would want to drop either of
Eriksen and
Fernandes. I don't think so, because you see, Eriksen is that deep lying playmaker who controls the play from deep. He likes Fernandes to be the conduit between the midfield and the forward line. So he doesn't want to disrupt that structure. The only position up for grab is McTominay's position. So the manager obviously has to earn his money.
Anyway, we've spoken a lot about United, but the other games. But before we switch to the other games, United-Everton.
I expect United to win comfortably.
I feel this will end in a draw.
I also believe it's going to end up in a draw. On that note of a draw, Chelsea nearly ended up drawing against Crystal Palace, but Conor Gallagher came to save them. They are coming up against a Wolves side who have sacked their manager. And you know what happens when teams sack managers? Players want to prove a point and all of that. Graham Potter's second game in the Premier League.
You know they say names carry power.
Yeah, they do.
I feel Potter's surname gave him some power. Harry Potter, he's tapping from that power.
So you think he will tap into that power come Saturday?
How Thiago Silva did not get off the field last Saturday.
We've had issues with the APL. We've had issues with the APL and their referee.
That was a moment where he just weaved his magic wand and confused the referee.
Ironically, he's the one that contributed to that equalizer.
Exactly.
And so for me, Crystal Palace and then these things were going to happen, but they're coming up against a Wolves side. Do you see a second win on the trot for Potter?
I expect Chelsea to comfortably deal with Wolves. Wolves have not been the same team they were last season and 2 seasons ago. I think that's a key element in their team not functioning to the levels that we've always known them to. And coupled with the fact that, yes, you guys talk about the honeymoon period that teams go through when they appoint and bring new managers on board and all of that. But I think that you can only do that to an extent. Listen, you can rave and rant about Chelsea for all you like, but Chelsea do have a lot of quality world-class players. And if they play to the coach's plan, if they play to the potential that we know them to, I don't think that Wolves will be that stumbling block. That's really denies Chelsea from getting their second straight win in the EPL under Graham Potter. I expect Chelsea to deal with Wolves with minimal fuss.
They've let go of Bruno Lage, and that also creates a different dynamic because whoever has been put in caretaker charge would want to justify for his role while the owners find a man who is suitable. So there's a bit of instability in that atmosphere at Wolves, and I think that could, in a way, play into Chelsea's hands, in a way, play against them, because then you've got players who are looking to catch the eye of the incoming manager or the caretaker manager. You've also got players who are destabilized, because when there's a change in leadership, there's also a change in strategy. Because if Bruno Lage, for most parts, preferred to go with a 4 at the back, Wolves, in all of their glory days at the Premier League, we've known them to be playing a 3 at the back. So are they reverting back to what worked best for them? They will create that level of uncertainty for Chelsea in the planning for this particular game. And they've got within the Arsenals a couple of players who can really cause Chelsea troubles if they tend to have their day. Daniel Podence, Neto, all of those guys, when they decide to show up, it would be a hand for them. We know Chelsea and their struggles when they play against pacey attacking teams. So this should be an exciting watch. But
very, very exciting. But I look at Wolves and I'm struggling where they are going to find the goals, because in their last 3 away games they've not scored. In their last 2 games they've not scored. They are ranked 20th in terms of goals conceded.
Jimenez has been off.
17th in terms of goals scoring. And they are ranked 18th in terms of goals scored. So they are conceding so much, they are not scoring. And Jimenez is, I do not know what's the problem with him.
He's not been the man himself since that injury.
And I look at Graham Potter, I'm seeing elements of what he did at Brighton. Chelsea in possession usually play a 4-5-1. Out of possession, we go for a 4-2-3-1. At all point, they do have men in the middle. So he's prioritizing the middle of the pack, ensure that they control the game. And I like we all have said, I do not expect Wolves to trouble. I would be very, very, very surprised if Wolves, come out of the bridge with even a point. I do not see this game going in favor of Wolves. I expect Chelsea to score no less than 2 goals.
But speaking of goals, Southampton in recent times have built for themselves a reputation as a team that love to be hammered.
Yeah, they can afford to give you 8, 6,
well,
7.
Maybe they will be Manchester United.
Yeah, you're good
Sunday.
company.
No, Manchester United on Sunday. I mean, they come up against City. They could be Manchester United in mask.
Southampton took 8 from Spurs. They took 8 from United. This is a City side that have already hit 2 teams for 6 at the Etihad. And Sunday they go to the Etihad.
Southampton go to Etihad. The game will be over by halftime.
Sometimes the uncertainty of football is what makes football football. And we'll be surprised that Southampton will set up, Ralph will set his team up in a way that would be very, City have had issues breaking down teams that set up deep block.
No, you see,
right now they do have the men who can unlock those deep blocks. Issues
because Nottingham Forest came back to sit. They were hit for 6.
Forest are not good.
Bournemouth came to sit. Bournemouth literally played 9 men with the ball at the back. Ended up taking 4.
Southampton have not lost in 2 away games this season. The last 2 away games they've not lost, but they've also not kept a clean sheet in their last 5 away games.
Let me jinx that for you. Southampton went to Spurs.
Yeah,
they took 4.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So they concede, but then in the last 2 away games, they've not lost though. But the beautiful thing is that we're talking about how brilliant City have been going forward and the ease with which they're able to break teams down. I mean, you have to love the interpositional play of these City guys. It's a bit, reminiscent of what we see with the Arsenal team and what Arsenal does, having a lot of men behind the ball, especially in the attacking third. We are likely to see that the same pattern. Yes, no sane man would want to go for a Southampton win or a Southampton draw. I mean, even the Panthers, I'm not a Panther, but I think that this will be an over 3.5.
Well, I still think the game will be done in the first half.
How many goals does Erling Haaland have?
14.
in the Premier League.
Yes.
And what's the top scorer tally for last year? I think that was 25.
25, yes.
I charge on the record, if he continues with this goal scoring rate, at the time the season ends, he would have scored 71 goals
In the league?
in the Premier League.
I'm just looking at. I mean, if you scored 25 to win the Golden Boot last year, and Haaland has scored 14,
8 games,
14.
By the
And
time
the Saints are coming.
The
20
end
games.
justifies the means.
No,
So
I feel he
No,
will.
listen,
He will break the 31 before we go for the World Cup.
Well, he could get injured tomorrow.
yeah, he could get injured.
Yeah,
But that's what we are saying.
all
All other things being equal. All other things being equal.
Then justifies
All
the
other
means.
things being equal. I will
Let's
expect
just
that.
slow down.
Before we
Let's
check
just
out.
slow down.
Before we check out, City win. How many goals? Prediction. This time, you're too, a bit
6-0.
you sit on the fence.
6-0.
Be brave.
6-0.
6-0.
To City.
You know, last weekend I captained Haaland for my fantasy. This weekend I'm going to triple captain because he would score 3, he would provide 3 assists.
But I think he's going to score 2, and other players will score 2. I'm looking at a 4-0 scoreline. The Oracle has spoken. On that note, as we always say, we are shooting at Red Mango Apartment in Ghana, specifically the Western region. If you need an excellent place to relax with the entire family or friends, this is the place to be. And Sports 101, subscribe to our channel. Let's get the engagement going in the comment section. Like our videos, comment on our videos. Let's get a discussion going. Do you think Erling Haaland can can keep this excellent goal scoring form till the end of the season? How many goals do you think he will score? Let's engage ourselves in the comment section.